New at 11, a sudden and steep expense. People living in a northeast side neighborhood are being forced to connect to the city's sewer system, and it's about to cost them tens of thousands of dollars. So they're turning to RTV6 for help. Matthew McClellan is working for you, taking homeowners' concerns to officials.
We're on Vera Drive off Allisonville Road near Kessler Boulevard, where nearly 24 homeowners say they are being forced to pay as much as $20,000 to connect with the city sewer, money most of them don't have.
We're kind of stuck.
Robert Knotts was laid off last September.
I received a severance package and everything, but I've been working 40 hours at a part-time job just so, to make ends meet, and this would kill us.
$15,000 to $20,000, the cost of hiring a contractor to install a low-pressure system before connecting to the city sewer.
We definitely don't have the money to spend on that right now.
This group of neighbors all in the same situation.
That cost alone is 10% of our home values.
The Marion County Health Department says they have to connect to the city sewer line installed on their street.
Most of us want to be connected. It's the price that's killing us.
Citizens Energy says they're disqualified from the county's cost-saving septic tank elimination program, or STEP, because someone down the street hired a private contractor in 2017 to install the sewer line.
The red dots represent where the septic tanks are located in their yards.
This map showing the 23 affected homes on Vera Drive.
We were just trying to show how far trenching and boring would have to go from the back of the yard under the street to connect to the city sewer lines.
We asked the health department to explain. The department says residents can apply for a 5-year extension, but these residents say that's not enough.
We're trying to get the STEP program pricing, which would be the $2,700.
Telling RTV6 they feel they've been misled since they were first notified 2 years ago.
So nothing was really disclosed. They were very vague with the letters, didn't really get into much detail.
Citizens Energy says it hasn't identified the neighborhood as a high priority area for STEP. For Knotts and his neighbors, it's a matter of survival.
Just allow us to join the STEP program. We'll be more than happy to connect. Just, make it financially viable for us.
The neighborhood group has a meeting planned for next month to determine their next steps. Later this week, they'll be meeting with Republican State Senator John Ruckelshaus, asking for help. Reporting on the northeast side, Matthew McClellan, RTV6.
Matthew, thank you. And according to Citizens Energy, under the STEP program, if you hire your own contractor to install a low-pressure sewer system, you'll still have to pay more than $2,500 to connect to the city sewer.
RTV6 is also answering a Castleton woman's call for help to get this problem fixed for her. Cassidy Phelps lives with her aunt, who has one leg amputated and uses a wheelchair. Cassidy says she's tried several times to tell the complex how dangerous it is to get her aunt out of their apartment. There's no ramp, and they have to go down 3 steps to get to the sidewalk.
I just don't know how you sit down with someone and see that condition and move them into this apartment after you said that it's going to be handicap accessible for her to get her wheelchair up and down at least 3 times a week.
RTV6 reached out to the apartment complex on Cassidy's behalf. We were told the corporate owner is working on details. We are still waiting to get specific information. RTV6 will continue to follow up and hold the complex accountable.
A Southside Church's plans to build senior housing on its property are off. The Metropolitan Development Commission denied the church's appeal to build the apartments. Only RTV6's Graham Hunter has been following this story from the beginning. He's talking to neighbors and members of the church about this decision.
The church's appeal was denied, but construction had already started. It has people who live in the area wondering what's next.
I don't know what you can do with what has been already done with that property.
Christine Lucid recently moved into a home just a couple doors down from One Christian Church, a place she knows well.
I went to preschool there, so I have fond memories of that place, and I think they've done a lot of good for the community.
The church, led by Pastor Jeff Stratton, has been trying to build a 23-unit apartment building for its senior members. That's on hold. The Metropolitan Development Commission ruled Wednesday the project isn't compatible with the community and that the apartment building would be greater than the accessory use allowed on a church parcel.
We weren't even sure how feasible it was to do 2-story apartments for elderly.
Carol Decker lives nearby.
I guess it could be worse, but we'll have to wait and find out what the church decides to do.
Pastor Jeff Stratton told me on the phone he didn't make a plan to lose the appeal and is still researching options. The church has spent over $500,000 of a loan on the project, installing sewage and digging drainage. He tells me he won't take a salary this year because he feels responsible for putting the church in a tough financial position.
I wish them all the best. I really do.
I talked off camera to a church member who says her 80-year-old mother, who already lives in the neighborhood, was